This is starting to get a little ridiculous. That's the hole from the second large scent that I found. I got a 1920 signal right here, and again I see big roundness in the hole. Welcome back to Curiosity Detecting. I'm actually at a new permission today, and unfortunately no Kevin because I pulled a sneak attack and I'm detecting on a weekday because the weather is beautiful. But on this new permission is this structure, which was built in 1851, and on the other side of it there's another second structure that was built in the first decade of the 1900s. So I'm very hopeful that we might find some old coins and relics, or I might find some old coins and relics. But as always, you'd have no idea until you swing a coil and dig a hole. So let's do that, shall we? Well, I've only just arrived, and I, with my digger, flicked a 27, 28, 29 signal out of the hole and dropped it on my cloth, and I see an edge, and it's a very thick edge. In fact, too thick to be a coin? Let's see what we've got here. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It's just sitting in sand. There's not even any corrosion on it. It looks like a commemorative medallion of some sort with a coat of arms and what looks like Queen Victoria and George V. Oh, I see it. It says 1867 Confederation, 1927 Canada. So it looks like a commemorative medallion for the, what, 60th anniversary of Confederation. Wow. Just sitting in this beautiful sandy soil. All right, well, I'll do whatever cleanup's necessary, but I'll set up the tripod and we'll do a close-up and check it out. Fantastic. Well, my point of contact for this wonderful 1850s property met me here and wanted to watch the first few holes. And this is what came out of the first hole. It is a 1927 commemorative medallion commemorating 60 years since Canada's Confederation, which was on July 1st, 1867. You can see Queen Victoria on the left, who was the Queen when Canada had its Confederation, and her grandson, George V, on the right, who was the King in 1927. So the sandy soil here preserved this amazingly for being 97 years old. It looks like it was dropped yesterday. It has, however, it does have some nice patina to it, showing me that it wasn't dropped yesterday. And on the reverse of the medallion is the Canadian coat of arms, the rampant line of Scotland, the 3 fleurs-de-lis of France, the 3 lions of England, the harp of Ireland, and below it the 3 maple leaves representing Canada, with topped by a crown. And beneath it is the motto Amari usque admira, which is Canada's national motto, from sea to sea. An absolutely unbelievable condition find, and look how thick this medallion is. It rang up beautifully at 28-29 on the Equinox. I am absolutely thrilled with this. If I don't find anything for the rest of today, it's still been a good day. All right, on to the next. Well, I was passing through an area that I've been over a few times before, got a 20, 21, 22 signal, and I see roundness, and it's big roundness. Hopefully it's a large scent. Let's see what we got. What are you? It is a large scent. 1 cent. All right, I'm going to pause the camera and do some cleanup here before this turns to concrete, but 1 cent Canada. So it's post 1910 because they didn't say 1 cent Canada, they said 1 cent pre 1910. Excellent, large cent in the pocket, so it's going to be George V. All right, let's do a cleanup and I'll be right back with a close-up. Well, right there is the hole where I just found that 1919 large cent. Spin around and I got the same signal at 22-23, and I see large roundness again. And this sandy soil, I've got high hopes. Let's see what we've got. It's another large cent. I believe I can see the border on it. Yes, it is another large cent, and this one is 19 20, the year after. Fantastic. All right, I'll do a cleanup and we'll be back for a close-up. Well, you know you're having a good day detecting when you don't even have time to make it back to your tripod before you find another large scent. So within the space of probably 2 minutes, I found these two large scents, a 1919 and 1920, which makes them both King George V. This one is seen better days on the obverse side. This one is actually a lot better. I'll gonna give them some TLC with some Andre's pencils or a toothpick when I get home. But this sandy soil is just amazing for these coins. These coins were only probably about 4 to 5 inches down, and they're absolutely beautiful. So King George V is actually the monarch who started what has become a modern day tradition. He was the first monarch to do Christmas time addresses to Great Britain and the Commonwealth. He initially did it via the radio, of course, and that was taken up by his son George VI, and his granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II, did them on television. I think she only missed 2 years in her 70-year reign doing her Christmas Day address. So two absolutely beautiful coins, large cents, found within 2 minutes of one another. It just goes to show you that persistence pays off. All right, let's see what else we can find. Well, the last thing I expected to find in the middle of town is a big cartridge. Hopefully it's got a head stamp that I can identify. Oh, it has enough on there. All right, I'm going to do some cleanup and we'll do a close-up. I can see it has the C on it, so it might be military. All right, I'll clean it up and be back with a close-up. This actually ended up being a pretty interesting find. It's actually a .303 cartridge from a World War I Ross rifle made by Dominion Arsenals in 1916. You can even see the date right on the head stamp, and inside the C is the distinctive broad arrow symbol indicating that it was issued to the military. This is starting to get a little ridiculous. That's the hole from the second large scent that I found. I got a 1920 signal right here, and again I see big roundness in the hole. What are you? It's another large scent. And oh, it's 1886. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be Queen Victoria. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera and clean this up quickly before I got a handful of concrete. Oh, excellent, I can't believe this. Okay, clean it up, we'll be right back with yet another close-up. Here is this absolutely beautiful 1886 Queen Victoria large scent. I did an initial cleanup on it in the field here, but I'm going to be able to do a better cleanup with a toothpick. This is just surface dirt, and a toothpick will bring it off this coin quite easily. They're made of bronze. So Queen Victoria, along with her husband, Prince Albert, actually had a whole mess of children. They had 9 kids, the eldest of whom was Edward, who became Edward VII. But one of their daughters was Princess Louise Caroline Alberta. And she was... actually ended up becoming the wife of the Governor General of Canada. So she actually lived in Canada, Princess Louise. And also, she's the person for whom the beautiful Lake Louise in Alberta is named. And not only that, Louise Caroline Alberta, the entire province of Alberta, is named after Queen Victoria's daughter, Princess Louise. So quite a lot of connections from Queen Victoria's family to Canada. Absolutely thrilled with this coin. Can't wait to see what I find next. Let's keep going. Here's a pretty neat lineup I couldn't resist. Queen Victoria, her grandson Edward V, and the medallion I found today with both of them on the same coin. Victoria from 1867 and George V from 1927. How neat is that? This is a day I'll remember for a while. All right. Well, another hole, and I had my large cent 1, large cent 2, large cent 3, and over here it's not a large cent, it's a small cent, but it's an oldie. It's a 1938, which makes it only 2 years after George VI took the throne. The other side is a bit roached, but the old coins are clustered right around this spot, so I'm going to hang out right here. Well, a slamming signal that ended up being about 7 inches deep popped it out of the hole, and is it a complete harmonica? What am I looking at here? I think that may be what it is. I'm going to do some cleanup on it, but definitely has the shape. So here's a close-up after some cleanup. I was right. It is indeed a harmonica. You can see the harmonica reeds on either side, and it looks like it's some sort of natural material, wood or paper or something in the middle. But old harmonica, always good to find. And it, like all harmonicas, it sounds fantastic on the detector. All right. A scratchy 1819 right next to the sidewalk here, hence the road noise. Apologies for that. And I flipped out green roundness out of the hole. What are you? I'm going to turn off the camera. Maybe it's a coin, it's pretty bent. I'll turn off the camera and do a cleanup and I'll be back. Well, my initial cleanup didn't solve anything. I think it may actually be a British coin, based on how thin it is and how it rang up on the detector, but I'm going to have to do some major Indiana Jonesing on this to try and figure out what it is, if I'll ever figure it out. But an old coin for sure. All right, on to the next. Well, after some careful cleanup, I do have a working theory as to what this coin actually is. I believe it's actually an American Connecticut copper dating between 1785 and 1788. On one side, you can actually see the right knee of a seated female figure facing to the left, and on the other side, you can actually see the bottom of a right-facing bust wearing a tunic. But let me know in the comments below if you think this might be some other coin. I was actually lucky enough to find an identifiable dated 1788 Connecticut copper a couple of years ago, and this coin appears to be approximately the same size and weight as well. Well, I stepped away from the road a bit because there was a lot of traffic noise, but I found this, and I think it's made of brass. I think I know what this is. It's either the top off an old lighter, or more likely, the flip top off a match case. So it sounded fantastic on the detector, and I actually found it in the same hole that I found that suspected British coin that I haven't been able to identify yet. So it has this neat rope pattern on it. Do some more cleanup and post any more information that's on it, but I don't think I'm going to find any, but still a cool relic nonetheless. Well, for once, my initial intuition was correct. This is indeed what's called a match safe, and it's actually from the US Civil War era. And I was able to find an identical example online. It would have been originally nickel-plated over brass. A fantastic find. I'm literally within 5 feet of where I found 3 other large cents already. And I popped this out of the hole, and it's green and round. And it's another large cent. Oh my goodness. 1 cent. 1888. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to get this cleaned up and we'll do a close-up, but this is just turning into one of those days that you're not supposed to expect very often. All right, I'll be right back. Well, here is this wonderful 1888 Queen Victoria large cent in fantastic condition due to this sandy soil. So Queen Victoria, despite being the first Queen of Canada, actually never visited Canada herself. And when it was requested that she visit Canada to lay the cornerstone for the new Parliament buildings in Ottawa, I believe it was in 1860, she sent her son, Prince Edward, instead. And he did quite the grand tour of North America, and went all the way from Quebec City, up the river, up to Ottawa, west of Ottawa into the other townships, went to Pembroke for lumber games. It was quite the grand tour, and even wrapped up in Niagara Falls. So lots of interesting stories around Queen Victoria and her children, but I'm just so thrilled to find this coin. Something that's found quite often, but I haven't found in a while. A 2122 signal, and it looks like I've got a spoon. It's not silver. Maybe it's some sort of copper alloy or something, but it was only about, boy, an inch down where the tip of the spoon was sitting. So the verdict on the spoon is that it's got a monicum of fancy on it. I don't think it's any precious metal. I don't see any maker's marks on it. And my theory, given this multicolor corrosion here, is that it was plated, maybe nickel or silver plated at some point. But it has some age to it, and always good to find personal items like this. All right, on to the next. Well, you know you're in an old spot when you start rooting through the hole and you start finding glazed pottery shards. And in what is fast becoming a trademark of mine, I think I found yet another top off an oil lamp. Yep, that's exactly what it is. This one looks decently complete. It's missing the knob. Maybe I'll look in the hole. I'll do some cleanup as well. I'll look in the hole and see if I can find the knob that has manufacturer stuff on it, but I'll do some cleanup and I'll be back with a close-up. Post cleanup of the oil lamp, here it is. So here's it would have gone up this way. These are the little tines that hold the glass globe on top of the lamp. I don't see any maker's markings. Normally they would be right around here, but I actually rummaged in the hole and found this little wick adjustment knob, which does have writing on it. So let me just drop this down here and see if we can actually see what it says. MB Company, New York, patent, April 30th, 1886. All right, so this is a nice old oil lamp. Fantastic. I love finding these things because you always know where to look for the information on it. I'll see if I can dig up any more history on the company, but if not, it's still a fantastic find. All right, let's keep going. About, I'd say 3 inches down, and I see a coin edge. And the coin is larger than a modern day penny. So let's take it out and see what we got. Oh, it's a token. And gee, I wonder how much it's worth. What does it say? Wall wash? All right, probably from a laundromat. Somewhat less exciting than I expected, but it's always neat to find a token that I never found before. All right, on to the next. Well, days like this don't happen very often, but when they do, my advice is just to savor them. I found this in the first few minutes, and these showed up past the 4-hour mark of being on this property. All I had to do was find the spot where the old ground was and go low and slow. This thing here, I'm pretty sure it's a British coin, likely a halfpenny. I'll do some cleanup on it, but it may even be holed there. But even if I can't identify it, what a day. So I'm definitely going to be back, and the neighbor flagged me down and watches metal detecting YouTube channels, and we're going to detect his yard, and he's going to join us next time. Well, if only every hunt could go just like this one. We might have an opportunity to go back to this same property again, and hopefully we can have some other great finds. And I want to thank all of you for helping the channel reach 120 subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe button if you're not already. And if there's someone else you think might enjoy the channel, please feel free to share it with them. So we shouldn't have too long until our next hunt, and hopefully Kevin will be back with us, and we'll see what else we can find just beneath the surface. Until then, be kind and stay curious.